Well, as I reported earlier, that the team of Shakhtar Donetsk has been in London carrying out talks with different clubs that are interested in Mykhalo Mudryk, and here we are. It has been confirmed that Mykhalo Mudryk talks to Arsenal are done between the club of Shakhtar Donetsk and the Arsenal. Remember, those between Mykhalo Mudryk and Arsenal are not a problem. They are not a problem, already agreed. The problem is how much Shakhtar Donetsk is willing to ask for Mykhalo Mudryk's move from Shakhtar Donetsk to Arsenal. Looks like everything is moving on positively as Gabriel Jesus' injury update surfaces in. Even Fabrizio Romano has something to say about the Mykhalo Mudryk transfer to Arsenal. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? Rokan David is my name. Don't forget to go in the right bottom corner, smash the subscription button after smashing it to the notification bell. That will enable you get notified every time I upload a video onto this channel. And obviously you know the name of the channel, that is Rokani Media Football. And it's really quite a very good day. Yesterday we stretched up to 4 stories, and today I believe we are going to stretch to that level, because after this story, expect another one after 3 hours, even after 3 hours, and another 3 hours, meaning that after midnight we'll be closing out the day with very many more stories of Arsenal. I'm having lots of stories concerning the transfer of Arsenal. Vlahovic, there is Ndika, there is Ferran Torres. Lots and lots of stories are really flowing in from Arsenal and what they might be up to. And obviously on Saturday, Arsenal has a very big game against Juventus that is going to be played at the Emirates. And guys, smash the like button. Let's have close to 200 likes on this video to see to it that we really go to that level we are supposed to be. Because the more you like this video, the more it moves. Now, the first person to really start off our episode or podcast today goes by the names of Ryan Taylor. Ryan Taylor is a sports journalist who works for the Daily Express and Rich PLC Nationals, and obviously he is one of those people that have been seen so close to Arsenal. He's telling us that Arsenal are accelerating their January transfer plans, with newly appointed sporting director Edu prepared to sanction the signing of a marquee forward should the right opportunity present itself following Gabriel Jesus' injury. That's what it's telling us, that Arsenal is trying to see to it that they make a marquee signing of a forward, but he has not specified which type of forward. There is a center forward, there are wide forwards, and when you look at the structure of a striker that should come in and fill up the gaps of Gabriel Jesus, it should be a center forward. But obviously that puts you in a situation of asking yourself, what is the club all about and they willing to do? Because with the brilliance of Mikel Arteta, he might decide to go the Pep Guardiola way until Jesus really comes back. What is the Pep Guardiola way? Remember, the last season that Kun Aguero had at Man City, he never played most of the games of Man City. And Man City played with no center forward. Remember, they had Mahrez, Sterling, is it Bernardo Silva, sometimes Jesus, but they never gave him to lead the line. He used to play wide. Most of the games of Man City, he used to play wide. So even last season, he won the league title without having a prolific center forward like Haaland. That's it, because Jesus was not considered to be a center forward at Man City, meaning that he can decide to go that way and sign in players like Mykhalo Mudryk. He brings in another forward and maybe a Tielemans in the midfield who are really going to go on and increase on the number of goals that are going to be coming from the midfield and the wide areas, meaning that if Edin Ketia can't score, he can shift to another system. That's why you've seen very many people considering Martinelli to become a center forward. Something that I believe won't work for Arsenal. To me, I believe there is a more center forward attributes in Odegaard than Martinelli. I believe Odegaard can play more as a false nine because he plays well with his back to goal. His positioning is great. That's why you see to him that his positioning in the box is great. That's why you see to it that he has scored very many goals in the 18 box area of the opponent for Arsenal this season. Out of the 6 goals he has scored, I think most of those goals have come in through the the 18 yards box area. I think it's one that really scored outside the 18 yards box area. Was it against Fulham? But I believe even that of against Fulham, it was inside the 18 yards box area, because he scored a brace against Bournemouth. He scored one against Fulham. He scored one against Nottingham Forest and 2 against Wolverhampton Wanderers. All those goals were into the 18 yards box area of the opponent, meaning that he is more suitable to come in and play as a false 9 for Arsenal in some games than putting Martinelli there. So I believe Mikel Arteta might go in to sign Tielemans, because he knows Tielemans is really good. He increases the possession of Arsenal because of his passes. When you look at the passes per 90, accurate passes or completed passes per 90, it's better than Granit Xhaka. His work rate is better than Granit Xhaka. Even his goals per season are better than those of Granit Xhaka. Secondly, his assists are better than those of Granit Xhaka. You add Tielemans to your team, that means you're adding in goals and assists. Now, the other player that I believe they might go in and bring in, obviously, is Mykhalo Mudryk, because this guy is one of a kind, and Arsenal are really in for him, and he is their priority signing of the summer, as confirmed to us by Fabrizio Romano and very many others, because Arsenal is in the pole position to sign this player. When you add on Mykhalo Mudryk into the mix at this level, what does it mean? It means the following. 1, he's going to come in and add assists. Then he's also going to come in and put in those goals and bury those balls at the back of the net. So I believe it's better for Arsenal to go all out for a player like Mykhalo Mudryk, to go on and increase what we call the number of goals that come out of their forwards until Gabriel Jesus comes back. And I believe that might be the plan of Arsenal, because we've been just told by a source that comes in from Adam Crafton, reporter of The Athletic, that the CEO of Shakhtar Donetsk was in London this week, and the club has held discussions with several clubs over Mykhalo Mudryk. This is The Athletic, and you know what The Athletic is all about in this transfer market. They are really so much accurate, and they don't really point at something that is not really moving in the right direction. When you look at the CEO, Serge Palkin, he came out in London and talked to very many clubs. It's rumored to be 4 clubs, but obviously it's up to Arsenal, because Arsenal is the team that the player wants to go to, and those discussions have been held. Now the talks are done. He has fled back to Ukraine to see to it that he sits with his bosses and tells them what he has really gotten out of the talks between Arsenal and Mykhalo Mudryk. I believe Arsenal is the only team in the Premier League that can buy Mykhalo Mudryk amongst the teams that are really interested. Arsenal is really the team that the player wants to go to, and I believe a deal has to be discussed as soon as possible, and very soon we are going to hear that everything is done and dusted, because the moment the CEO came in London to discuss with Arsenal, that meant that there is a common ground to agree on. That's it, because if at all there was no common ground to agree on, you wouldn't have seen him in London. But the reason that's why he came to London is because there was a common ground for them to agree on, and that common ground has been reached between Arsenal and what we call Shakhtar Donetsk. And in the next 1 or 2 days, you are going to hear stories coming out and confirming whether Arsenal and Shakhtar have really come to a close. But the talks that link Mykhalo Mudryk to Arsenal are done. The rest is in between the CEO and the directors of the club to go on and discuss what offer has Arsenal put on the table, to see to it that they really go on and negotiate on that. Even Arsenal has been told what the club wants, that is Shakhtar Donetsk, to see to it that they release this player. So I believe these rumors of 100 million euros are really going to come to a halt in the near future. They are really going to come to a halt, because I don't believe that Arsenal could go anywhere near even 80 million pounds. No way, because that's 100 million euros. I believe the best amount of money Arsenal should pay for this player is 50 million euros or 60 million euros. That's it. For Mykhalo Mudryk. And what they should do, they should put in clauses that could raise that deal close to 80 million euros. That's it. But I don't see any sense in Arsenal paying that amount of money for this player who is not even proven. To me, he's not a finished article. That money used to be for finished articles, but nowadays, the way the market is really running out of hand, should be regulated according to me. And that's why you see teams like Chelsea are going in to sign Nkunku even before the summer comes in. This is what teams are going to start doing. They should go on and start fishing in for their players in those teams before even the summer comes in. But if at all Nkunku is at 60 million euros, how do you tell me that Mykhalo Mudryk is at 100 million euros? There is no way that Shakhtar Donetsk can face Arsenal and tell them that we want 100 million euros. I believe the director and CEO of Shakhtar Donetsk were just trying to create awareness of the availability of the player. But no way an elite team that is well run can pay 100 million euros for Mykhalo Mudryk. That's it, because he is nowhere near a finished article. That money goes for finished articles. That's it. So that's what we've been told by the reporter from The Athletic, that is Adam Crafton, that they were in London, the CEO was in London, and they held discussions with several clubs. Obviously, Arsenal at the helm of this. Now, after that, Fabrizio Romano has also dropped in with some Mykhalo Mudryk update, telling us that the Mykhalo Mudryk situation is still the same. Arsenal are in contact with people close to the deal and they love the player, but there is no official bid to Shakhtar yet. And this is something that we've come out and repeatedly said. I've seen very many people come in the comment section that, Rokani, you are so behind this transfer. A bid has been already made. Now, if a bid has already been made, why would the CEO of Shakhtar travel all the way from Ukraine to come to London? Why? Because the moment you put in a bid, that means you've agreed on the amount of money that the club wants, and you're negotiating on that amount of money. Now, the reason that's why he fled to London is to go on and lay a ground between Arsenal and Shakhtar on the amount of money that they should pay. That's it. He is in London to negotiate that. He was in London to negotiate that. And the moment he got done with it, he flew back to Ukraine. Then Arsenal will go on and try to negotiate or really carry out different talks with Kroenke's, Edu, the CEO, Mikel Arteta, on what Shakhtar has on the table. Even Shakhtar Donetsk and the CEO are back to discuss what Arsenal has told them that they can offer for the Mykhalo Mudryk. That's it. So no official bid has been made yet. That's what Fabrizio is telling us, and I'm repeating this with a lot of confidence. This player, no bid has crossed from Arsenal to Ukraine at the team known as Shakhtar Donetsk. No bid has crossed. Let no one lie to you. Then Fabrizio Romano continued and let us know that if Mykhalo Mudryk joins Arsenal, it would be interesting to see if he could be deployed as a direct replacement for Gabriel Jesus, or if Mikel Arteta would move Gabriel Martinelli to the middle. Either way, it would be a good plan to have. Now, as I told you, that Mikel Arteta could decide to go the Pep Guardiola way. And what is the Pep Guardiola way? The Pep Guardiola way is simple. He played with 3 forwards, of which none of those was a striker. But whichever person the ball found into the 18 yards box area of the opponent, he would finish it. I believe the best shift to make if you bring in Mykhalo Mudryk is to get in Odegaard. Maybe you play him as a false 9, or you play Mykhalo Mudryk as a false 9, because it's said that Mykhalo Mudryk can also play well as a center forward or a false number 9. With his roving, he can keep changing with Martinelli, Bukayo Saka, and Odegaard. And if at all, you remember that Barcelona of Pep Guardiola after he let out, after he let, after he let, after he let Samuel Eto'o go, who used to play as a number 9, and they used Messi at the forefront, he could shift left, right, and center. Then that could enable the likes of Pedri. Was it Pedri? Pedro. I think it was Pedro. Then which other player was playing on the right? Pedro, Iniesta, Messi. There was another player that was playing there with Messi and Pedro. So they would rove around, and that made it difficult for teams to mark them. So if you bring in Mykhalo Mudryk to lead the line for Arsenal, Martinelli, Odegaard, and Bukayo Saka, they'll keep roving and changing those positions. The only prayer that Arsenal fans should go on and say is, one, to see to it that this chemistry and cohesion comes to activation of productivity early enough. That's it. But the rest of the expectations out of that would be okay. That's what Fabrizio Romano is telling us, that if they bring in Mykhalo Mudryk, they could use him as a center forward until this guy comes in back. But for Gabriel Martinelli to move him in the middle, I doubt. You see, if you are a team that plays pragmatic football and you play on a low block and you hit so much of the break, he will help you if he's playing as a center forward. But I believe he's not so good, especially in tight spaces. That's it. He needs a lot of space to act and give us the best out of himself. That is a player who goes by the names of Martinelli. I believe that I rather put Fabio Vieira in the central attack midfield area, and then I push Odegaard further there, or Mykhalo Mudryk there. You see? But even Edin Ketia is in the picture. Obviously, he's going to come in and lead the line for Arsenal. But I believe in some games will be Mykhalo Mudryk to lead the line for a team which goes by names of Arsenal. Talking about Gabriel Jesus, as Fabrizio has included him in the story, we've been told by the Give Me Sport that, and it's Dean Jones of Give Me Sport as well as that, they have options with the squad already. I think the best solution with them would be to find a good value stopgap that helps them through the Jesus layoff. That's kind of what I'm hearing they would rather look at. I believe Mikel Arteta won't go in for a stopgap signing, according to me. He won't, not for any reason that will force him to go for a stopgap signing, because he believes in having players at the same level. That's why he let Lacazette go. He would have convinced Lacazette to start Arsenal, but Lacazette would have acted as a stopgap. But obviously, he wouldn't allow it to happen. And if he's to go in for a striker, he's going to go in for an ideal striker. Obviously, that's why we've been talking about Mykhalo Mudryk, players who can go ahead and really lead the line and play also in the wide areas. Players like Cody Gakpo, who can lead the line and play in the wide areas. There is Marcus Thuram. You saw him yesterday when France was knocking out Morocco at the semi-finals of the World Cup. He is really great. So I believe he could go in for such players, the likes of Diaby, because they can lead the line and play well in the wide areas as auxiliary forwards. So I believe that can come in and help in a club which goes by names of Arsenal. But that's what is having and coming out from the news desk that we've had today. Fabrizio Romano, Dean Jones, and from the Athletic, the man known as Adam Crafton, Adam Taylor, all in one episode. Do you see how good this is? We're having close to 4 or 5 credible journalists in one story. And guys, go in the comment section, tell me what you think about Mykhalo Mudryk talks to Arsenal done, then Gabriel Jesus injury, and more as Fabrizio Romano comes in to let us know what Mikel Arteta is going to do for Mykhalo Mudryk as it describes the plan for him if at all he's signed in the January winter transfer window. Rokani David is my name. Thank you guys for watching in through. Smash the like button and don't forget to subscribe to this channel because we want to hit 9,000 subscribers. I hand you over to the Almighty Lord. May Him bless your day abundantly. I sign out for now. See you later, my mates. I love you, boy.